Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this ninth episode of my SMP series. Today, we'll be moving some of these villages. As you can see, I've AFK'd at my village farm, my village breeder, and put them all in here, and I've also decorated. I'm going to show you around a bit first before we get started. As you can see, I have made a little garden in between the two buildings, as if this was possibly a waiting area, because, well, for them it is. And over here is a hospital. So just a nice little garden in between. I'm going to use this button. Now, I did have a problem with the villagers escaping once and get zombified in the middle of the night. So I had to put in buttons instead of pressure plates in order to make sure that nobody could escape. Then I made this to look like a little waiting room for the villager breeder itself, which I currently have turned off. But since it will be working today, we're going to turn that back on. And they're already breeding. Gonna hop on down. The other thing I would like to show you is the area between my actual base and this. I made this into a bit of a garden with a fountain at the end and just some seating and some flowers and some hedge work using leaves. And different types of leaves. Oak leaves and birch leaves, just to give a color contrast to all this green. Also put in a little bit of a fence just to, well, I like the look of the fence, but it goes around a little garden area, like this little seating area, and around that seating area too. Then I hit a seating area back here, so this is one, and then you follow this all the way back, and here's a second one. Like a little, I would consider it a Victorian garden, but I don't think that it would be absolutely correct. So let's go back over to the other side of this building. Okay, so over here, I've added in one custom tree. It's a custom oak tree with a little bit of grass and some flowers around it, just so that when you're running by, you get some color flashes as you come across. This little garden area, along with this little rose area and red poppies. I've also prepped these rooms, these little shop areas, with doors and stone brick and made, some roots going down, so on and so forth. I've also added one additional shop right here, just a little standard little rectangle, and set up the butcher shop. And this goes all the way down, which I'll make it look like a kill room / storage room for meats. And then up here will lead to the cathedral. That's what we're going to build right there. Is at least what would look like a church for the priests that or the clerics specifically, the cleric villagers to stay in. I've added this little fence because I've been having problems with zombies coming out to the villages, so I had to add in what's basically a construction fence to ward off. If the villagers got out and started wandering around, they couldn't precisely get out into the main area, or zombies couldn't get in. But I'm not sure if it's foolproof or not. I'll have to test it once I get the villagers out here. But as the city expands, or as I keep building, that fence will move. And I've also filled in these areas with stone brick. So the first things first, let's get them decorated. Let's get the shops decorated. And I'm going to take an inventory of who I have in there and put them in the shops. So give me a sec. Okay. Got everything put back away that I need to put away. And I got this all decorated. Looks pretty nice. It's at least a pretty standard library, like a little bookshop. We're going to put the librarians right here. And then I got the butcher shop done. Very cold. Not very friendly in here, but I'm okay with that because a butcher shop should be nice and clean. And I got the little storage room back there. You know, you can go in here, but there's nothing in here. It's just mostly for show. But it's there. So we're going to put the first butcher there, and probably the other butcher right here. So let's go over to the village storage area and see if we can get the proper people into the proper spots. Okay, let's grab cart. Put one cart there. Oh. I need... Take that out. Put that right there. And I have... Okay. I don't know what he was. So let's try another cart. Cartographer. And there goes that cart. One sec. This is already going so well. There we go. Got this all fixed up and got some butchers in here. And they seem to be doing decently good on the prices. Yep. A little cheaper with the chicken right here. But let's get them separated slightly. There we go. And let's run real quick over here. I don't have the stairs to fix this. But we have the librarians in, which I'm going to separate these two just by a tiny bit and just put another staircase or trapdoor right there. But yeah, so far so good. Now I have to sort the rest of them. Give me a sec. Alrighty, got this all cleaned up, got that cleaned up. And I finished out the shops. This is the library, as I've said before. Got the librarians in here. Close these up. Butcher shop. Got the butchers in here. Showed you all that just a little while ago. Cartographers. Spent some time between the last clip and this one making some maps and going off to taking the nether portals over to the areas and just kind of running around to see what was interesting and just making some maps. I'm going to close this door. Then up here, you have the toolsmiths and the armorers. And the leather workers. I had a lot of leather workers. There's still one sitting in the sorter. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him. But, got plenty of leather workers. Then we have the shepherds, which I've unlocked all colors of the wool. So, once I get a good amount of emeralds going, I can buy up all kinds of different wools, which is nice. Put some shields down for decoration, and even enchanted these two with random, enchantments. Put some chests up there that look like storage. That's pretty much all I've done so far. I put the fishermen in this little shop over here, and well, basically because it's the only place I could fit him and it would make sense. Now the green-vested villagers, which are just normal villagers, not merchants, I'm just going to let it roam around town. But first, we're going to build up, I've already set up the little work area. We're going to build up this cathedral. I'm going to incorporate these glowstone that are from downstairs as part of the build. So, I think I'm going to do this in a time lapse. Because I always like time lapses. I like how they've been turning out. So, if you don't like the time lapses, let me know. That way I can just skip doing them, means less editing. But if you do like the time lapses, leave a comment in the comments section. At least it will let me know a good variety of opinions on whether people enjoy watching the time lapses or not. Well, might as well get started. Yeah, I just realized I had not been recording like the majority of this build. I could kick myself. I even had the recording window up, looked over, thought I was still recording, looked down at the recording time, just thinking, how long could I have been recording? You know, how long has this build taken? Not recording at all. Really angry at myself. So, what I'm going to do is just show you a bit around and then return back to actually time-lapsing this. So, I've built this up and got the ceiling in, most of it, and got the doorway. And brought the roof line all the way across. And we're going to go up here, and I'm going to show you. So as you can see, the roof line comes all the way around, or all the way across there. Let's see if I can parkour. And this side ends right here, but it continues this way. We'll do a full fly around with the camera account once I get done, so you can get a full appreciation of the full roof. Now I'm going to flip back to the camera account, try to continue this time lapse, and try to remember to record. Been doing this for weeks now. You would think I would remember to record. Let's get back to work. did it again. Didn't record part of the build. So I decided to just finish it. Today's not my day for recording time lapses, apparently. So I hope you enjoyed the few time lapses I'm able to put into this video. Still let me know in the comments if you like the time lapses or not. But here's the cathedral. It's not fully decorated yet, but I'll get to it later. I ran out of time this week, to be honest. It's a pretty busy week for me. But I got the clerics in, so now I have something to do with the zombie flesh, at least. And I set free the normal villagers. And I'll eventually get all this built out. But I like the combination of the stained glass, the high ceilings. The torching's going to have to go, of course, but that's going to come in time. I have to gather up some more glowstone, which the section of nether we're in, or that's close to my nether portal, running out of glowstone quickly. So I'm going to start venturing out farther to find it. But let's switch over to the camera account. There we go. Let's just go on outside and take a look. As you can see, I did change the roof line a little bit, put in some of the same detailing that I did in the tree farm to kind of match them up. And then put in the stained glass, which luckily the squid keep dying on my shores, so black stained glass was easy to make. However, the bone meal for the light blue and white was a little harder to get. The skeletons tend to spawn easily in this area, so it's easy enough to find them. But I like it. It's not precisely the most traditional church, but it does have that church vibe. Which I didn't want to subscribe to any one architecture for a church when building this building. I wanted to give it a feeling of a church without precisely denominating it. So I think I got it pretty good. At least made it pretty well. Now, I mean, it's going to have vague notions of a cathedral, as most Western churches do. But it's a good place for the clerics to sit. And I'll put it in pews and probably a dais is what I was looking for. Dais here. And probably make some sleeping quarters up top and probably a little office area right here. And have most of the clerics sitting down here. And as the clerics spawn more here in the breeding room and from the breeder, I'll probably pipe them into this church until I make another one and then start piping them over there. Well, that's the plan. Let's go ahead and go back. Okay, now that we have slept, this area is pretty much done. I got the villagers out and moving around, and I have the merchants up and ready. So now I can start trading with them. The next project is going to be building out around spawn and building out this area. Not sure what I'm going to put over there. I know I need to make an iron farm. The reason I didn't get a lot done this week is because of all the resource gathering I had to do for the minecarts. And, well, the stone, the nether brick, the glass, the rails, the minecarts. I mean, the minecarts alone were really expensive. Those anvils in the blacksmith area were also very expensive. At least resource-wise. So, I'm probably going to have to take some time to do some resource gathering between episodes. If my week becomes really busy, I might have to skip next week's video. I'll let you all know on social media, primarily on YouTube and Twitter. But, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments section. And if you really enjoyed my videos, consider subscribing to Opus Terra. Lets us know that we're doing well. Well, I hope that your weekend goes well, and thank you for joining me. Bye bye.